So once again, the mob is out with their pitchforks targeting the fan favorite Stellar Blade, which just recently had a pretty damn amazing demo showcase. Let's talk about it.
Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
What's up everybody, it's your boy Saga bringing you awesome fast information regarding all things PlayStation gaming. If you enjoy content that respects your time, hit the like button to get this video out to other gaming fans, but if you didn't, drop a dislike so I know exactly where to improve. So yeah, recently Stellar Blade dropped a pretty nice demo ahead of the launch coming later this month, and based on everything I've seen so far, including my personal impression, it looks like majority of the players had a pretty positive reception of the game. Specifically noting its really well polished gameplay, solid skill trees, and pretty awesome combat system, the reviews and feedback for Stellar Blade was pretty stellar. Now just like any iconic duo, be it Batman and Robin, Tom and Jerry, or even Coomer's and Twitch Thoughts, the iconic duo, IGN and Dogwater Takes released a statement over on X saying, "It's nothing new and other games have chosen to highlight the strengths of their female characters, but where a Bayonetta stands out with an iconic character design, or a 2B from Nier Automata inspires an entire generation of cosplayers, Eve from Stellar Blade is just bland, a doll sexualized by someone who has never seen a woman." Now let me be very clear, this doesn't come from a place of hate, as I love Bayonetta, but let's be real here, there's not a single fight scene that I can remember where Bayonetta didn't really get sexualized or what they perceive as sexualized. And if I recall correctly, back then IGN had a problem with Bayonetta, I like to point out. Now obviously these were very different writers, so obviously it's going to be a little different, but when we compare the two characters, Eve is significantly less sexualized than characters like Bayonetta. Again, I don't care if they're getting sexualized or whatever their definition of sexualized is. And if they actually played the demo, besides maybe the first cutscene when she comes out of the ship, every other cutscene besides that was very focused on the story-driven part of it. Almost nothing I've seen thus far has been like you can misconstrue as sexual. Again, I don't care either way because Stellar Blade has way more substance than that. If we're being real here, Stellar Blade compared to the other ones mentioned is the least sexualized of them all. Now shortly after this, IGN does what IGN does best and double down on their stupid takes by saying, "This last sentence has been slightly edited for French speaking people pretending not to understand what we meant and the English speaking mob who translates the initial text," and they basically changed the end saying E from Stellar Blade is just bland, a doll sexualized by someone you think you never seen a woman, which obviously those are very different words. Even translated, these are very different things that they obviously changed to fit their narrative so they don't get the backlash that they got. And you'd think it'll end there, but no, the nonsense didn't stop, because after very clearly being a jackass, they decided to go with the modern day cop-out of "we're receiving death threats," which means they're not responsible for what they said since people are being over the top with the death threats. Now let me be very clear, as a creator, I don't condone any type of violence over words. I think that's silly and childish, but let's be real with ourselves. If any of us played Call of Duty since a kid up into our adulthood, you're constantly getting death threats every single round, every single player you interact with. Like, death threats thing is such a weak cop out at this point. It's just kind of just criminal to even use it. Again, I don't condone death threats, but let's be real here, they're just trying to avoid responsibility by saying they got death threats. Either way, it looks like as we get closer and closer to the launch, haters are going to hate more and more on a game that, from what I've seen thus far, is making a very solid game, which is very annoying. Anyway, the video on screen now goes over the latest information on the in production The Witcher 4, and it's actually really positive news. Check it out.